Good day. Our work group is made up of Melissa Diaz, Sara Duque, and Victor Palacios. We are students of the master's degree in international business. Today, we will talk about intercultural negotiation, starting with the most important aspects. In accordance with the above, we start from the fact that intercultural negotiation is a concept that is becoming more relevant every day because the company that have activities in several countries, especially those that act in distant market from a cultural point of view, they are necessarily forced to negotiate it on their condition and with interlocutors whose custom and ways of the acting are different and often unknown to them. The concept of intercultural business that refers to the adaptation that executive of a company have to carry out when they travel abroad, especially in those emerging powers that have very traditionally cultures rooted in the character of their professionals, as is the case of China, United States, or India. This concept of intercultural negotiation refers to several issues, among which are the cultural context in which negotiation takes place, the dilemma of who should adapt to the culture of the other party, and the culture components of negotiation that must be taken into account when negotiating in international markets, such as political, legal, economic, and commercial aspects. Certain principles of international negotiation must apply regardless of the place in the world in which it is negotiated. It is important to know them since they constitute the framework on which each negotiator will turn over the knowledge and concrete experience that he will acquire in his professional life. This principle consists of adopt a winner-winner approach, know and apply the concept of room for maneuver according to each country, understand the difference between national and international negotiation, take into account to the cultural elements of the country in which it is negotiated, know how to play the negotiation, distinguishing between each of the stage, know the techniques that serve to advance a negotiation and close the agreement.
Intercultural negotiation is a concept that is becoming more relevant every day because companies that have activities in several countries, especially those that operate in distant markets from a cultural point of view, are necessarily forced to negotiate under certain conditions and with interlocutors whose customs and ways of acting are different and, in many cases, unknown them. From the perspective of communication, which has a great relevance in an international negotiation, we can have two types of cultures: cultures of low context and cultures of high context. Low context cultures, they are those that use very clear and specific verbal and non-verbal forms with complete grammatical expressions and few subjective interpretations. The negotiation is very clear and quick in the sense that the interlocutors put all the cards on the table from the beginning and if they do not reach an agreement quickly, the negotiation is over. High context cultures is this type of cultures that information is handled back and in precise way. Activities and circumstances are more important than the expressions for themselves. An important part of this information is incorporated in the behavior of the interlocutor more than in the verbal messages that is transmitted. Latin American countries or Asian are typical of this kind of cultures. Since communication is a vital part of conducting business, you need to have knowledge of the appropriate commercial protocols to know what to do in certain situations, how to create a good business card, the relevance of all non-verbal communications, how to determine the appropriate clothing, the customs, and even the periods of rest, among other elements.
In my experience as an international negotiator, the most difficult European culture to negotiate with is the French. They don't like to use another language, include English. If they use it, they are not very good in it, and that make a communication even more difficult. They are arrogant and they are not interested in facilitating the process. They don't see this as advantage for them, only for the other part. We can find this characteristic in scientific literature because it falls short in the role that the culture plays in a negotiation. So for planning, it is important to have an analytic team that requires an understanding of the culture, language, constant of negotiation, being prepared. This is the only way we can create a favorable environment and eliminate cultural barriers and focus on coming through a commercial ones.